What's the main difference between the H1B and the O1 visa? Maybe you want to take a stab at that, Aladdin.
Yeah, sure. There are a couple major differences, right? There are similarities, of course, but a couple major differences. Number one, H1B is capped, and it's through a lottery, and it does require sponsorship. It does require an employment contract. Your visa is kind of tied to that employer. However, when you look at the qualifications that are sought or the criteria that is sought, it may not be as strict as O1 visa. If you got the lottery, you could technically have a smoother way to come to the US. Another good thing with the H1B is that the H1B is a dual intent visa, which means that you can easily pursue an immigrant intent and apply for green cards and etc. O1, on the other hand, although technically it's a non-immigrant visa, and it's not a dual intent visa, but it has been seen by the USCIS and the immigration community, and there's a common consensus that it's been seen as a bridge visa. So it could technically be viewed as a dual intent visa too. The biggest advantage that the O1 would have over H1B is definitely having the ability to switch employers, bounce contracts, do it with your own company. Your own company would sponsor you. There is definitely a lot of flexibility when it comes to the O1 visa. It's being geared towards those who have not only have been successful in their own field, but also who have entrepreneurial aspirations too, who would need that kind of flexibility to, bounce contracts, change jobs, and use their own companies or use an agent petitioner. Yeah, and then the O1 would sort of like put you in a path where, provided you continue working on your profile, down the line, you're looking at the biggest prize of it all, the EB1A green card, right? So, yeah, I'd say these are the main differences of the H1B and O1. And I'd definitely say that, O1, it's not capped. It's no lottery. It's about you, how successful you are, and it gives you the ultimate flexibility.
Yeah, and just to echo, the flexibility, Aladdin, we've had success with all different types of structures for that one visa, but one would be us acting as the business manager. Related entity acts as a sponsor for our clients, and we basically can petition for you, and you can do all different types of work. It could be part-time work, have different consulting arrangements. Maybe you got laid off from a tech company and you're gonna still do some work for that company, but you're also going to build your book. We can build that into the plan, and it provides a good degree of flexibility. So our visa franchise related entity acting as the business manager. We've also had good success representing and acting on behalf of the foreign entity. So we have some really successful entrepreneurs. They have companies, it could be 500K, $1 million, $10 million in revenue. And we're going to represent that foreign entity to bring over one of the executives. It could be the owner themselves. So that's a popular mechanism, as well as just being sponsored straight up by your US employer. And then the fourth path is setting up a company and effectively self-sponsoring. But it gets a little complicated because you have to set up a board and you have to be able to be fired from the company. So we usually don't see that option as much. But there's 4 different ways to structure the O1, at least that I know of. Constantly see a lot, and I'm sure you can attest to that. There are attorneys that might be comfortable with 1 or 2 of the options, and for us, our general counsel is comfortable all 4. And based on the client's case, we can bring in attorneys that really know 1 or 2 of those structures really well and have a 95, 100% success rate with that proposed structure.
Thanks for explaining that, Patrick. I think O1 is being geared towards to be the ultimate visa. Down the line, it could even replace the H1B program, and it is being updated all the time. And
I'm surprised there's not more. I think we were going through the numbers. I think it's like 33,000 issuances.
Yeah. It is like double from last year.
And there's some countries that really dominate, like the UK, where I think just a lot of people don't know about the option. And it was like for you, where I was the one that introduced you to the O1 visa. And you came to us wanting to invest in a franchise for the E2 visa. And I said, hey, that's an option, but there's also other options that we can explore. And you were going to go through the business manager and do different consulting projects. And then we ended up sponsoring you for your O1.
and then we ended up working together.
Yeah.
Um,
Full circle.